Carla Nelson, Minnesota State Senator and a member of the Daughters of the American Revolution.
Good morning, Commander Brown, veterans, military families, patriots, and distinguished guests. My husband Terry and I are greatly joyed to be here with you today. It is delightful to see this place packed with patriots, young and old. And thank you to the Rochester Veterans Memorial Association for organizing today's important event, and for every organization that has supported our veterans at home and abroad, represented here by all of the flags behind us, and thank them for their participation today. And I especially thank our youngest patriots, the children, the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, the Brownies, the Cub Scouts, the children of the American Revolution, who are learning the value of patriotism by being here today. This year is an important Memorial Day to remember. It is the 150th anniversary of the end of the Civil War. It is the 70th anniversary of the end of World War II, and the 65th anniversary of the start of the Korean War. This year is the 40th anniversary of our departure from Vietnam, and it is the 25th anniversary of Operation Desert Shield in the lead up to the Gulf War. The crosses at Normandy, the markers at the Punch Bowl, the tombs at Arlington, the fallen heroes in places unknown, and the names of those veterans on the wall of remembrance behind me. They each have stories to tell. From our founding revolution to today's global war on terrorism, over 1 million men and women in the armed forces have sacrificed their lives while defending America in the time of war. We honor and we remember those who perished in those wars and in every cause defending our nation. And we recall the more than 6,800 American service members who have given their lives since September 11th, 2001. One such American was 22-year-old Army Specialist Travis Bruce, a 2002 Mayo High School graduate. While at home on leave, Specialist Bruce spoke at the 2003 Veterans Assembly Day at Mayo High School. I witnessed the enthusiastic support and high regard that he received from his fellow Mayo students. Specialist Bruce was serving his second tour of duty in Iraq on March 23, 2005, when he was struck by a rocket-propelled grenade as he stood on the roof of a building that he and his unit were guarding. Travis was the first person killed from Rochester in Operation Iraqi Freedom. We remember Marine Lance Corporal Curtis Swenson, a 20-year-old from Rochester and a 2007 Mayo High School graduate. Curtis served as a turret gunner on April 2, 2010, while sent to assist a military vehicle damaged by a roadside bomb. In Helmand Province, Afghanistan, Lance Corporal Swenson's Humvee hit a powerful roadside bomb. The explosion flipped his vehicle. Lance Corporal Swenson, like so many other defenders of freedom, is forever young. And we remember Army Sergeant Nick Dickut, a 2007 Stewartville High School graduate. Sergeant Dickut was on his second combat tour in Afghanistan when, with a small group of soldiers, he went to check out a grape hut. As he stepped inside, bullets started hitting the outside walls. He quickly knelt and lowered his rifle to the doorway. A photographer snapped a few photos. The bullets stopped, and the troops went back to their command post. The photographer sent the photos to his editor. The last image showed lights of sun piercing through slots in the walls, with Nick crouched in a shadowy corner, aiming at the doorway. The dramatic image quickly made its way around the world. A few days later, Sergeant Dickhut called to wish his 9-year-old brother a happy birthday. He said he couldn't talk long because he was headed out on another mission. That was April 30th, 2012. A few hours later, enemy forces attacked his unit. Like Specialist Travis Bruce and Lance Corporal Swenson, Sergeant Dickhut is forever young. And today we particularly remember those who went to serve but remain unaccounted for. The families of those whose names are on war memorials across this nation and on the wall behind me know the final chapters of their loved ones' lives. But many families do not have such closure. Too many of our heroes are missing in action. Over 7,000 Americans remain unaccounted for from the Korean War, and more than 73,000 are unaccounted from World War II. Just 3 days ago, the Department of Defense announced that the remains of a Korean War Army Corporal Richard Wing and World War II Air Force Second Lieutenant Alvin Bethy had now been identified and are right now being sent to their families for burial with full military honors. This nation will not rest until we are able to account for all of our prisoners of war and those missing in action. Today, we also think of those who would like to be here with us, but they are currently serving in uniform. Nearly 200,000 soldiers, sailors, Air Force, and Marines are currently serving beyond our shores, protecting us far from home, and they will not be able to spend this holiday with their loved ones. We ask God to keep them safe today and each and every day, and to bring them home safely. This is why days like today are so important. Every Memorial Day, we have a responsibility, a duty to gather and to honor the brave men and women who gave the last full measure of their devotion defending this nation's freedom and security. We gather here today to renew our dedication to living out the ideals for which they laid down their lives defending. But it is not enough that we are gathered here today. It is of the utmost importance that we teach patriotism to our youngest citizens, the next generation. William Havard said, "The greatest glory of a freeborn people is to transmit that freedom to their children." We all agree, and I'm glad to see them here today. Our children must learn about the bravery of the American servicemen and women, especially those who gave their lives protecting our freedoms. Our children must know, just as inscribed behind me here, freedom is never free. In fact, it is only because of our fallen heroes who have paid the high price. I thank all those in this community who are dedicated to educating our children about patriotism. When I started teaching at the Rochester Public Schools in 1992, one of the first items that I needed to request was a flag for my classroom. The custodian, Bruce, kindly found a flag for me in the basement of Holmes Elementary School. A few days later, he was able to secure a flag holder, and he put up the tattered flag. I was quite concerned that American flags were absent from American classrooms. But I am glad to tell you that our local veterans set to work and have since provided flags for every classroom in the Rochester Public Schools. When I left the classroom and went to the State House, one of the first pieces of legislation I was able to support required that the Pledge of Allegiance be recited in Minnesota schools. We are glad that passed today. While exceptional valor and sacrifice has occurred in all of America's wars, we did not always remember our fallen with a day dedicated to their honor. In fact, as you heard, the first Memorial Day was not called Memorial Day. The official birthplace of what is now known as Memorial Day was in Waterloo, New York. Following the May 1866 observances there, General John Murray and General John A. Logan called on communities all across our land to honor their dead every year. In 1868, Logan, the head of the Grand Army of the Republic, a prominent veterans group, issued a proclamation that Decoration Day be observed nationwide. And as you know, the date that was selected was May 30th, specifically because it was not the anniversary of any battle. The alternative name, Memorial Day, wasn't commonly used until World War II, and federal law recognized the holiday in 1967. We know the world has changed a lot since that first Memorial Day in 1868. Technology has made our world much smaller. One can travel anywhere in the world in just a fraction of the time that it took 147 years ago. The internet allows us to watch and interact with what is happening across the globe in real time. Technology, in some cases, has made our world more dangerous. The bayonet and musket have been replaced by roadside bombs and propelled grenades. If it were not for the parallel advances in medical technology, the death toll from today's battles would be much higher. More of our soldiers are coming home alive, but with traumatic injury and missing limbs. Noting this trend, the Rochester chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution raised $12,000 to purchase an action track chair. This all-terrain wheelchair will allow disabled veterans to do things that their normal wheelchairs would not. We donated the track chair to Ironwood Springs Christian Ranch, where veterans can use it free of charge, with the hope that it will help them find joy as they recapture parts of their lives. More of our soldiers are making it home, but it is still a very dangerous world. Right here in Minnesota, our heads are spinning and our hearts are hurting as we see young people embrace radical ideas and attempt to leave our country to join ISIS. In spite of these dangers, I have hope. We have hope. We have hope because of the young people that you saw here today, the young patriots, because of the young people who heed the call to patriotism, putting on the uniform